The lights, the crowd, the moments we call home. Remember the Alamodome.
This is the official Remember the Alamodome podcast, where we'll both recall epic moments and celebrate the vibrant future of the Alamodome. Download, save, and share. Remember the Alamodome.
Welcome, everyone, to Remember the Alamodome. It's our podcast that takes a look at what was, what is, and what will be regarding this great, diverse facility that we have in downtown San Antonio. I'm Richard Oliver, the Communications Manager for Convention and Sports Facilities for the City of San Antonio. Victor Caballero, the Marketing Manager for the same City of San Antonio. And, of course, Chris Flores, who, as you might know more, as Migos.
Right. Eating San Antonio, trying to eat my way through the
Your way
right?
through, yeah.
Okay.
And our guest today is someone we're just so happy to have her here, Jenny Carnes, the CEO of San Antonio Sports. And I still love saying CEO because you and I have known each other from early 2000s when you had just been an intern and you've worked your way up to this wonderful position as somebody that's invested so much in this community, but also in San Antonio sports. So
I still love hearing it.
It's pretty nice, isn't it?
Later. Yeah, I'm not used to it yet.
There should be a bigger name though. You know, I'm thinking President, CEO, and Grand Poobah.
El Jefe de Todo.
Yeah, exactly. There should be something a little more.
I like El Jefe de Todo.
That's speaking of the Alamodome. That's a throwback to Jim Mary. El Jefe de Todo. That's where that came from.
Nice.
Yep.
That's right. That's nice. Well, one of the things we've got a lot to talk about because obviously the Alamodome and San Antonio sports are related in so many ways and so many events that have happened over the years, but also just what San Antonio sports is doing in the community and the evolution of what's happened just recently. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot that will go on. We hope there's a lot of events to talk about moving forward, but I know Chris had a question right off the bat.
I did. So I see San Antonio sports everywhere. But could you please explain to us, what does San Antonio sports actually do for those who don't know? I know you do the marathon, but other than that, what else are you guys doing here in the city?
I love that we're starting with this question.
Okay.
Because there's nothing that makes me happier than talking about who we are, what we do, and our mission. So San Antonio Sports is a 42-year-old nonprofit sports commission for the city of San Antonio and Bexar County. And our mission is to transform San Antonio through the power of sport. And we focus on making this a healthier community, healthier kids and families, places to play, and events that impact. And what really, I think, sets us apart from other sports commissions around the country is that we focus on the community first. And Richard knows this very well because he's been on our board. He's sat on many committees. We worked on our 40th anniversary campaign 2 years ago together. And we focus on our kids in underserved areas in San Antonio through an after-school program called I Play After School, and then a health and wellness fitness program called Activate. So we're just trying to always make San Antonio a better place.
How did you get involved? I mean, I heard you were an intern. Now you're CEO. So there's a lot that happened.
Yeah. So I came to San Antonio in the mid-'90s to play basketball at UIW. And while I was there, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, wanted to stay in sports, but I knew I didn't want to go into coaching. And sports management through business was a very new route through education. And ironically, UIW was one of the first sports management programs in the country at the time. And so I thought it's something I should explore. So I went that route through UIW, got my internship at the Sports Foundation, is what we used to be known as in 1999. And I've never left.
You know, it's interesting. I think when a lot of people think of San Antonio sports in town, to your point, Chris, a lot of people think Final Fours, and they think the marathon, of course, because that's fresh on everybody's mind. But it's that really core mission that I think drives San Antonio sports every day. I mean, maybe you could talk about that. Maybe the dichotomy between putting together the NCAA volleyball championships coming up in December, but also just day after day after day, following that mission of improving this community through some of the good works.
Well, we know a big part of our mission is the events that impact San Antonio. This is a city that is driven by tourism. We are a destination city. We are a beautiful city to come visit. And so we want to be a part of that conversation by bringing NCAA championships and Final Fours and other big events that drive visitors to come to San Antonio and those tax dollars to increase. But everything that we do always is in mind with how we can make San Antonio better. How can we include our kids? How can we bring our community into the mix? How can they be a part of it? How can they participate? And so if we have a big event like a Final Four, we're going to do kids clinics. We're going to build a court somewhere in San Antonio that needs a new basketball court or a new soccer field. So we're always thinking about how we can make a lasting impact on the city when the event leaves.
That's awesome.
And what does it take to bring an event like the NCAA Men's Final Four to San Antonio?
Well, everyone around this table knows what last year this time felt like and looked like in this building. And with 100,000 visitors descending upon San Antonio, we were in the heart of March Madness. We were building out a 20,000 seat arena here in the Alamodome to hit 70,000 fans. And we started on that in 2017. Mm-hmm. For 2025. That bid came out in 2017, and our host committee, the chairman of our host committee, Mr. Pat Frost, him and I got together and said, what will this really take to bring the NCAA back to San Antonio, to this building? And we put a fundraising campaign together. We started working on the bid. We were awarded in July of 2018, right after we hosted. So this was a really unique and interesting time for us that we were hosting in 2018 and bidding at the same time. So not only did we have to go the extra mile, but we really used the 2018 Men's Final Four as our bid. And I remember telling everybody in this building as we went through training and setup and just everything that goes into preparing to host an event of that magnitude, this is our bid. And if we want this to come back, we have to perform.
And you have to keep in mind that the kind of power that Jenny wields, that she got all 4 number 1 seeds to the tournament last spring.
How'd you pull that off?
Maneuvering. Well done.
That's a great stat. And because we are living March Madness right now, that's only happened 2 times in the history of March Madness, and both times here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I'm giving you full credit for that. I'm giving you full credit.
2008 and 2025.
What are some of the things that these organizations look for? So for a city to host this type of event, what are the things that San Antonio has that they love and are excited about?
Well, I think that the first answer to that question leads into a further conversation that I know we're going to have, but it starts with the host facility, right? But San Antonio, I think, has the intangibles that makes the NCAA continue to come back here. We are that beautiful destination city with amazing weather in April. I don't know anybody that wants to go as a fan to Minneapolis in early April, and they have, or coming up in Detroit or other cities that there might be snow on the ground.
Right.
We are centrally located in the country. We're easy to get to. You can be sitting on the Riverwalk 30 minutes before tip-off, having a margarita, and walk to the Alamodome. You cannot say that in probably 6 of the other host cities that actually can do a Final Four. You have to get on a bus, wait for an hour, wait in line. And so those intangibles make San Antonio successful. And then I'll go a little bit further. I think our volunteers that San Antonio Sports brings to these major events, we roll out the red carpet because we have such a spirit of giving in this community that it is not hard for us to recruit 2,500 volunteers for a Final Four. They sign up before we even start recruiting. And one of my favorite stats to share is from the 2018 Final Four. And we did a recap for the NCAA. And not only did we have 100% fulfillment on volunteer shifts, we were at 105%, meaning we had more volunteers show up for every shift than were actually registered.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
And I think that's what truly sets San Antonio apart.
And, you hear it all the time from coaches, and believe me, the coaches have a voice in all this as well. They want to come to San Antonio, and they always talk about this should be on the permanent rotation. But we know that to segue into the Alamodome, this is an older building compared to a lot of the palaces that are being built around the country. But of course, we were here last year. I know the Final Four, the bid process is coming up fairly quickly for 2032.
32 through 36.
So I know you're going to bid again, and I know that the intangibles will be there. But what is it about this building you think that I know there were a lot of changes that were made before the Final Four last year. What do you think of the facility and where it stands now and what needs to be done perhaps looking forward?
Well, first of all, if the coaches had the vote, we would host every other year.
Yeah, that's right.
We do know
New
that
Orleans, San Antonio.
The decision comes down to 10 individuals that sit on the Division I men's basketball committee. So that's a little bit out of our control, and that rotates and staggers off every 6 years. However, I think there's some things about this facility that the NCAA continues to love. It's a clean building. We don't have a presenting sponsor on top of the roof that we have to, dance around. We don't have an NFL team in this building that also has to be shuffled around. We have a ton of back of house meeting space that the NCAA loves because there's so much programming that goes on outside of the court itself. But to your point, Richard, we know that this is an outdated facility that needs a little love. We love this building for San Antonio. It's meant a lot to us over 38 years. Am I right? Mm-hmm. But to continue to play in that space or to get into other competitive markets like CFP and other opportunities for the city, we've got to continue to maintain this facility so y'all can keep doing the amazing concerts and all the events that the city has been doing. But the NCAA knows, and they have shared with us, that we've got to continue to elevate this facility in a big way to keep up with Cowboy Stadium. And between now and 2032, when we start this bid process and the next cities that are awarded, there will be 5 new NFL stadiums that we are competing with on top of the 10 that we already compete with.
Wow.
Now I want to correct you on this. 33 years. That's
30. Oh, sorry.
33 years.
33,
We don't want to give the lady
Thank you.
too many more wrinkles on that one. Go ahead. You were going to say something, Victor.
No, I'm blown away at how much planning goes into these events. And I think most of the folks that are listening to the podcast are also blown away by how much planning goes into these events. The things that I feel a lot of folks don't see are the small events that y'all are doing in the community leading up to these events year round. These don't just happen when the Final Four comes to San Antonio or when these events are happening, but every month, I think you can find an event that is happening in San Antonio where the mission is being carried out. And I think that is great work that you guys are doing day in and day out at San Antonio Sports.
Thank you, Victor, for that. Just this past Saturday, we were a part of 3 events between 7 a.m. and when Zach Bryan closed down here in the building at midnight or whatever time. Yeah. But we had our basketball tournament for our I Play After School program with about 1,000 kids. And I don't even know how many parents that came out to watch their kids after 6 weeks of learning the fundamentals of the sport. And then I'm so proud after all these years, we've been talking about moving that program beyond 5th grade into 6th grade, which is a gap year before UIL sports start in the state of Texas. So we launched our prep program for the 6th grade. And so we were at another location doing that Saturday afternoon. And then we ended with volunteers here helping you guys put on the Zach Bryan concert Saturday night.
So in other words, CEO is Latin for never home.
Yes, that's true. But I did go to 5 volleyball matches in between those 3 events on Saturday for my daughters. So I tell the staff all the time, if I can't make my own kids' sporting events, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
I balance it all.
But before we get into, because I do want to talk about the marathon a little bit, but I want to touch a little bit on the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. And, folks come here to our concerts all the time. They walk the halls, and all of those plaques that you see on those walls. I mean, those are a lot of stories with a lot of impact. And if you ever have time between the restroom and the beer run to read a couple of those plaques at a time, I think that you'll learn that there is an incredible storied history on those walls. Can you talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame and some of the folks that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, we're very thankful to the city of San Antonio and the San Antonio Express News for being partners with us in the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. We do carry the oversight for the induction and nomination process, which happens throughout the summer. But I think in my role, even 3 years later, my favorite thing is to get to make a couple of phone calls to next year's class of inductees and tell them they're going into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. And that lives here in the Alamodome. And we're 25 plus years into honoring incredible folks from our community that either grew up here, they served their coaching time here, they've touched the San Antonio sports landscape in a very special way. And Richard knows, because he sits on our selection committee, it is a difficult decision and process to go through every summer after we accumulate votes and we figure out, those folks that rightfully deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but then the timing of it. And so we have incredible plaques all over this building. I mean, start naming some names, and I'm so excited about the upcoming class. It's a little heavy UTSA, but nothing wrong with that. Frank Harris, Coach Larry Coker, that really got the football program off the ground, but go back 25 years and Red McCombs, Spurs greats, Dave Robinson, Avery Johnson. We inducted the 1999 Spurs championship team last year. It's been fun.
And that was outstanding. And it's coming up pretty quick.
August 29th.
Yeah. So it's right around the corner.
We got to get video footage of you making those calls. I don't know if that exists anywhere, but I would love to just be a fly on the wall.
And sometimes it's hard to track them down. I mean, we've had moments where it's taken us a week.
They send you a voicemail because they don't recognize the number.
Yeah.
No, I don't answer this number.
Yeah, but when you finally make that connection, for me, it's I shut the door. It's a special moment, and it's a one-on-one conversation. And everyone that I've gotten to make, there are tears behind the other end of the phone call, just joy, gratitude. It's pretty fun.
And you've experienced it in a couple of ways. So,
well, you too.
Yeah.
So the San Antonio Marathon, it was his first year. It was 16,000 participants.
18,600.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's a lot of folks.
For year one.
Year one.
So it's very successful. So can you give us a peek behind year two?
Yeah, but let me give a little context. So 16 years in partnership with the city and the Rock and Roll Running Series. And that really, the credit goes to former city manager Cheryl Scully, that moved into the market and said, come on, how can we be the 7th largest city in the country and not have a true national marathon? So she charged us with bringing rock and roll to San Antonio, which we did. But when we were coming to the end of that contract, we had conversations with the city, with our team internally, and just knew it was the right time that we could do our own thing. So a little over a year ago, we launched the concept, started from scratch, brand new logo, brand, 0 people in our database. And the community just welcomed the vision that we had with open arms. The running groups rallied behind us. And I told the board about 2 years ago, just trust me. You got to trust me on this. We're probably going to lose money in the first year, maybe the second year. And I never would have expected that by October of last year that we would have hit our break-even point. And then it just kept going and going. And we had to announce a sellout. So year two, we're really working on managed growth. We don't want to exceed the capacity of our streets. We want to continue to make it a fun, great experience for everybody that signs up, from a 5K to a fast marathon runner on Sunday. And so our goal is to hit 23,000 this December in year two. And we were recognized as one of the top marathons, and especially new marathons in the country this past year.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And we are also a Boston qualifier. So
Amazing.
It's very important to us that it's a sanctioned event. The course is sanctioned, and that people want to come here to qualify.
So of the participants, I would imagine there were a lot of new participants that came to experience the marathon for the first time here in San Antonio. What's some of the feedback that you got on the route, on the city, on what some of these new runners felt about coming and participating with the San Antonio Marathon.
So we did a post-race survey, as everyone does. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive, but we want to take every little nugget we can to continue to improve. But I think everyone is very pleased with our courses. We changed what rock and roll had been doing for 16 years. They were going south down to Mission Reach and on the east side, and we wanted to go north and just show a different part of San Antonio and some of our beautiful neighborhoods and sister municipalities through Alamo Heights and Alamos Park. So I think the courses were very well received. And then throughout the courses, we showcased what makes San Antonio great. And one of the things that we adopted from day one was our tagline, which is every step tells a story. And we wanted to tell the story of San Antonio, not just through music, as rock and roll does, but through our culture, through what makes San Antonio great. And I think that was probably overwhelmingly the strongest bit of positive feedback that we had.
So, you look at the marathon, you look at what it evolved into immediately. That's one of many things that San Antonio sports is involved in. And people need to always keep an eye out because there's so much more happening and there's so much being introduced. You talked about the impact of working with the kids and what that means for the community. Over all the years you've been there, I guess it's been 24 years,
I'm
whatever.
27. I'll correct you on this one. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think since I've known you. Was there a moment, even over the last few years, where you said, this is why we do this? This moment right here encapsulates what makes San Antonio sports such an impactful part of this landscape?
Great question. A lot of moments, I think. I think the first one for me would be right here in this building, 2002, early April, when we hosted our first women's Final Four, which we still hold the all-time attendance record for at 29,651.
Yep.
And it was one of the first major sporting events in the country after 9/11. And the American flag was flown here that flew over Ground Zero. And Port Authority from New York City came in and helped present the colors. 30,000 people in the building, and you could have heard a pin drop.
Yep.
And that's when I knew I was in the right place.
And great teams, too.
Great teams.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I think watching some of our iPlay kids over the years, we're about to hit 20 years of that program, become San Antonio sports all-stars as seniors in high school. That would be another moment for me. Getting the Final Four back on the men's side this past year, unreal.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen.
That was a Hail Mary miracle that I think all of us pulled off together to bring them back when it was very unlikely to happen. And then being at the start line of our first marathon in December. Yeah.
All right. So looking ahead, you're only 25. You've got plenty of years ahead.
Well, we have a lot of fun things on the horizon. And again, this is Remember the Alamodome, is it not?
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's start right here this year in 2026 when we will be hosting the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship, or the Final Four for volleyball, in December. And that sport has grown on a level that I don't even think women's basketball replicated 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
Champions?
Oh boy, here we go.
Who's the defending champions of women's volleyball?
I knew I was going to walk into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if A&M reloaded or not.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But I mean, volleyball has grown so much now that I'm a mom of 2 volleyball players and I'm on the club scene every weekend. But just the level of athleticism, it's incredible. We've gone the last 2 years as future hosts, and this tournament is so much fun to watch. And the beautiful thing is we haven't hosted since 2011, and the NCAA has consistently been selling out prior to the season starting the Final Four in NBA arenas. And when we worked on this bid 2-3 years ago, we told them, you got to come back to the Dome. Let's do something big. If y'all want to continue to grow this sport, let's think big. Let's go big. So the goal is 30,000 in the Alamodome to watch women's volleyball.
So this won't be the curtain, and Are you gonna,
This will be the curtain
Still
in
be
the
the
old
curtain?
Spurs configuration.
Got it.
But we have that ability to go 30 and up on that side.
and it's going to be up. It's going to be interesting to see the next time they come in here. You'll be having the Final Four set up. For
Well, and then, so looking beyond this year, we have the women's basketball Final Four returning here for the 4th time in 2029. And this is what's really fun to me, because we've got 2 during this cycle. The NCAA women's staffs, who are separate, volleyball and basketball, they're now competing with each other, knowing that both events are coming to a facility that can exceed attendance growth expectations and records. So volleyball wants to beat our 2002 record, and then basketball wants to come in behind and go 35,000 plus.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So that's ambition. I mean, and that's the big part of what San Antonio sports is bringing to the table. The fact that you know what, you're not settling for let's just host it. Let's just do a good job and get out of here.
That's not what I do.
No.
I don't settle.
This is
These
a
are
lot of fun.
competitive athletes, man.
Well, yeah, listen, San Antonio sports is competition, and
Sure.
sports is all those different kind of things. All right, leave us with something. What do we have as you look forward to these next few months? What's on the table for San Antonio sports?
Well, right in front of us, we talked about our All-Star Game series. So it is basketball season, and even after the Final Four champion is crowned, both in Phoenix and Indianapolis for men's and women's, basketball will still be going on in San Antonio. So we will highlight and showcase the best of the best, top seniors from the area, both in boys and girls, April the 12th at Northside Sports Gym. And hey, looking across the street while we do this, looking across the freeway when that new Spurs arena is built, I would love to bring the All-Star game down to the new arena or over to Frost Bank Center and give them a chance to play in a really cool facility.
And where do we find information about everything?
SanAntonioSports.org.
.org.
And
right.
hey, just to end, we are very, very grateful to be in this building. We moved down here in 2003 when the Spurs moved out, and the city invited us to move our headquarters to the Alamodome, and we've been here ever since. I physically made that move myself, me and Bill Hansen. I painted the walls.
Wow.
Clean the carpet, and we've been very grateful to be tenants in this building for 23 years.
I seem to remember, though, back then that part of the rider in the contract was you bringing donuts to this part of the building a little more.
No.
consistent.
Let's revisit our mission: a healthier community.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Not fat yogurt.
I'm talking about psychologically healthy.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
She says that as Chef P. Cole just dropped off cookies for us. No joke.
We brought the fun to the building, not donuts.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That is the fun. Jenny Carnes, the CEO of San Antonio Sports. Jenny, thanks so much for giving us time here on the Remember the Alamodome podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
The crowd, the moments we call home. Remember the Alamodome.